Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Bear Pen for Epilogue 3 of Blood on the Bayou. My name is Adrian or Aries, and I am very grateful that all of you are here and that you're watching this with us. So, thank you so much for becoming a patron of the channel. Through your assistance, we're able to make really cool content and get more stories out there, bring on amazing special guests like we do have today. And just keep on making some wonderful things for you. This evening, for those of you who are watching in the future on YouTube as well, we are going to do something sort of dear to my heart in a way. So I'm very excited. And I think we'll go ahead and start off by introducing everybody. Obviously, some of the faces on here are very well known to you, but we'll go ahead and introduce our special guests first, starting with you, Cynthia.
Oh my, hi everyone, I'm Cynthia Marie. You guys may know me as Nellie G on Ellie by Night. We're going to be coming out with season 5 very shortly in the September timeframe, so stay tuned for that, Patreons. And then if you see it after then, it's probably out, so go check it out. Otherwise, I have a bunch of other different projects that I kind of pop up and appear on, so if you would like, just take a look on Twitter at Syndancer, and you can find out what show I'm coming on, because it's really hard to keep track of these pop-up stuff. But tonight, I'm very honored and excited to be playing Madeline. She's the Prince of New Orleans, correct?
Indeed.
Yes. And she's a Toreador. It's so out of my realm. Anyways, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to play this character.
Awesome. We're really happy to have you here as well. And the other person I'm always really happy to be involved with is our dear friend May.
Hi there, guys. I'm Melee Damage. You can find me on all of the internets at whatever the social media is / Melee Damage. And definitely follow me there, because just like Sin, I got a bunch of stuff popping up all the time. And the best way to keep track of that is just to follow me on there. Right now, you can catch me every Tuesday on Hunter's Entertainment, playing Outbreak Undead in the wonderful campaign Ragged Bone. It's amazing. If you haven't seen it, you should. You'll love it. And same for our campaign on Saturday, Lords of Faerun. Eliza Pearl is our DM on that one. She does just chef's kiss, beautiful job. Yeah, I am happy to be here today. You don't know who I'm playing yet. I'm a mystery.
Indeed. All right. And next up, we can introduce our wonderful friend, Glyza.
Hi, I'm Glyza, the podcast host of Classical Adventures for One, a podcast that discovers classic books and share it with all y'all with a little bit of drama and a whole lot of trivia. I'm also working with different podcasters that are voice acting in my season 2, which is focused on Agatha Christie. So keep an eye out. Who knows? Maybe by the time it's out on YouTube, I've already released episodes for season 2. But we'll see when we get there. I'm also working on a secret audio drama project involving nightmares and monsters. Again, maybe by tomorrow. If you're watching this on Patreon, it's still a secret, but by October, you might know more. But today, I am playing as a TTRPG player who plays a lot of different characters, most of them with secrets, and you can actually find all of my links on bio.link / classical Glyza. Everything that I'm on there, it's constantly being updated. Everything that I participated is on there. Today, I am Michaela, the obvious Toreador, but obviously not as well. Michaela is a caitiff, as been revealed in the season finale, and she is parading as a Toreador, and I'm sure everything is going to be fine, and no one is ever going to find out that she's been lying about who she is, who she was this entire time. It'll be all okay.
I'm sure that secret will never ever come out to anyone else in the country.
She's a very good
anything
actress.
like that. Indeed. Next up is our other wonderful friend and amazing player, Cassidy.
I am Cassidy. You can find me on Twitter at awkwardcassidy underscore. You can mainly just find me here on the Bear Pin. I do various things. I do the vampire. I do the secret life of cats. Bunch of random stuff here, but I love being here. And I am playing Sakura Ami, you very, very much Toreador, and I am beyond excited for today.
It's fantastic. And as I mentioned before, I am Adrian or Aries, and you can find me on Twitter at the Adrian Beer. And I do a whole bunch of things: storytelling, DMing, and playing a whole bunch of games. I'm also in the campaign with May and Glyza, Lords of Faerun, which is another channel. And just for those of you who are watching this on YouTube, you know, if you would like to support the channel and help us make more amazing content, you can hop onto Patreon. So next time we have an exclusive like this, you don't have to wait a whole month. You can get it almost immediately. All right. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump into our theme song. We'll see you soon. And welcome back. It has been 3 months since the events that took place in the end of Book 1 of Blood in the Bayou. After some harrowing trials in the Shadowlands, in the labyrinth of the Abyss, Michaela and Sakura and Nikolai and Elijah were able to recover the young adopted child of Sakura, Ricky. However, since that time, he has remained in torpor. He has been unresponsive to attempts to wake him. In the intervening time, Michaela and Sakura have spent quite some time attending gatherings held by Prince Madeline, learning more about one of the many kindred faiths, which, for various reasons, they both have come to embrace and identify with. On this particular night, we open our scene in the Longview Gardens in New Orleans. This has been the Elysium of Prince Madeline, and it also serves a different function as a gathering of Baham, the Bahari. The gardens within the estates are sprawling, serving many purposes. During the daytime, there is an education center where families can bring their children. There are some gardens which are even used for wedding ceremonies. On this evening, Michaela and Sakura are arriving for what they were told by Prince Madeline was to be their initiation as a member of the Bahari. We open our scene with Michaela and Sakura entering into the manor house of the Longview estate. Things are a little bit different. They can tell. Madeline, how do you imagine you might have prepared the interior of the manor for this occasion?
I'd assume that I would have a beautiful altar laid out with some sheer black fabric over. There's some moon pendants and anything that would be a offering to the mother laid out on display. Of course, the beautiful tree in the background, a couple of chalice, couple of different instruments that look quite torturous, but I won't go into details to what they would actually be doing. But they're laid out as a sort of potential sacrifice, but it's pretty much what you see behind Madeline.
Indeed. The gardens that have been chosen for this specific evening contain a very special tree, bone white in appearance, blood red leaves. Michaela and Sakura were told on one such evening by Madeline that this tree descends, as she has been told, from a tree that was originally found within the Gardens of Eden. Michaela and Sakura, you enter into the back gardens. You can see that there are a number of other people around, although they do not seem to be attired in the same manner and fashion that you are for this evening. They are wearing different ceremonial robes, and they appear to be busying themselves, preparing for whatever is about to take place. And you see within the gardens your prince.
Well, don't just stand there.
Michaela, it's very hard for her to move, to walk towards Madeline, just because she sees all these things that are meant for possibly torture, and she's a little worried. So she's just staring at it a little bit, and she's like, she's a little speechless. So basically, she's trying to come up with words, but she's
So
staring at it.
I'm gonna activate awe immediately.
All right.
Very good.
Sakura will just take Michaela's hand and give it a little squeeze and just start like not quite dragging her, but also kind of dragging her towards Madeline.
Within just a few short moments of Madeline activating awe, you find yourself, Michaela, quite drawn towards the figure of your prince, and some of your nerves get washed away.
Because of it, she can't explain it. There's something that happened that she doesn't understand, and she's no longer focusing on the fear that's been building up inside her. And Michaela just sort of like notices the prince and is just drawn to her beautiful eyes and her, and she just stares at her and smiles and says, "It's a pleasure to be here."
Oh, I am so happy that you decided to come, sweetheart. But why so shaken?
just unsureness, probably. Just nerves. I've never I have no clue what it means to have an initiation, and I am afraid.
What's there to be afraid of?
Lots of pointy stuff.
Oh, you mean these things behind me?
Yes,
You do realize that you have other pointy things that hurt just as bad.
that is true. It's been a long time. I don't even remember if I've done any pointy hurting. And the words are just stumbling out of her. She's not very eloquent, as you can tell. Because one, she's afraid, and one, she's in awe of the prince, and she just starts rambling a little bit on and on about, well, these are different pointy things. These pointy things might hurt me, and the pointy things that I have, I don't even hurt anybody. I haven't hurt anybody in a long time. I mean, I saw
Yeah,
somebody get hurt. Does it count as me not hurting them when I didn't stop the hurting? So it's basically just that her that's what she's doing.
Huh. And you, Sakura?
good evening, Madeline. I am incredibly excited to be here. I don't quite know what is in store either, but I am very excited to be part of it.
Fascinating. So we have one person who is afraid of a journey, afraid to go through pain, and another that's completely and utterly excited to go through it. How is it that you two end up on the same side of the road here? How are you friends?
Well, a coterie is a coterie.
And Sakura has always been there for me. And wherever she goes, I'll follow her.
So explain to me then, has Sakura made any sacrifices for you?
Not in the way sacrifices go,
So
but
how do you know she is truly somebody to risk your life for?
she hasn't proven to be someone that I can't sacrifice for. Does that make sense? Did I say that right? Words
No,
aren't
try
really
that.
very good. Words aren't really very good for me. She's a good person, and she hasn't done anything to prove otherwise.
Hmm. So friendship under convenience, I see.
I wouldn't call it convenience. We've known each other for some time, and we've been through a lot together that I wouldn't go through for just anybody. She's like a sister.
Interesting. So Sakura, you tell me, is she worth sacrificing for?
I have sacrificed for. Let's see, the time I almost canceled a guy because he was stalking her,
Oh
which,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I
whatever
remember
happened to
that.
that guy. Um,
Uh,
but yeah, we've been to hell together, almost literally, actually.
it's
Um,
true.
To hell? Please enlighten me. Where do you think hell actually is?
I don't know what it was actually called. I think it was like
Some sort of maze labyrinth.
it was really like dark.
Shadow.
I actually don't remember. I was calling it purgatory. I don't know if that's true. But it wasn't great. It was very scary. Very psychological horror-y.
Why did you go there?
To get my kid back. We had to save Ricky after he was taken, and we got him back.
So you sacrificed yourself for this Ricky.
I would sacrifice everything for Ricky.
Really? Everything.
Everything.
How much pain would you endure to ensure Ricky is safe?
Well, I had to walk by my brother dying over and over and over again at my feet in order to save him. So I also willingly walked into hell, made a deal with the devil. I've done a lot. So
The devil. You met the devil.
yeah, pretty chill.
I mean, he
Actually,
said he was. So
I mean, I believe him. I'm not like. I wouldn't. I mean, I guess you would lie about that. I wouldn't lie about that, but he's pretty chill.
I'm sorry, what does this pretty chill mean?
He's pretty
relaxed.
cool. He helped us get Ricky back. He stopped us from getting shot.
Fascinating. What pray tell, did this devil have some sort of contract with you or some sort of deal?
I don't know if it was a
I don't-
contract.
I don't think it was really a contract. He just gave us a coin.
It's
And
more
said,
just
"Believe."
yeah, think of me when you believe sort of thing. So
Do you have said coin?
No, we used
Yeah.
it.
do we still have it, or did it disappear when we used it?
It did not disappear when you used
Oh.
it.
So then I think Kayla still has it.
I pull it out of my little purse and I show the little coin to my prince and I give it to her.
I hand it off to my compatriot Adrian.
Yes, the somebody that you recognize, Sakura, has actually joined the party and has come walking up while you are having this conversation. The man is around 6'3", long blonde hair, very well dressed, and one shock of blood red hair amongst his otherwise blonde hair. He takes the coin from Madeline's hands.
Sakura would do a little curtsy and pleasure to see you again. How is your princedom coming along?
It's a pleasure to see you again too, Sakura. And Michaela, was it?
Yeah. Hi.
Not sure if we met at the first Elysium. Madeline. And give her a kiss on the cheeks. This is interesting.
Yes, quite.
So once you had taken the coin, Madeline, you can see that it seems to be a very old silver coin. It's a little bit misshapen in certain areas. And as Adrian takes the coin from you, you actually hear a slight sizzle. Did not affect you, but it seems to be affecting him. This is silver. Where did you get this?
It was a gift.
That's not a whole lot of information there, Sakura.
You didn't
I think
ask for a whole lot of information. You just said where.
You have a point. You have a point.
Ask more detailed questions.
Madeline, would you? This is singeing me just a little bit.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yes. Sakura, is it possible for you to give more information, or do I need to get it out of you?
I am happy to share information. I just like messing with my friends.
Excellent.
She nudges Adrian a little bit.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the ribbing. Yes, could I get some more information on this, please? Because that seems very old.
Would you like to take this, Michaela, or should I?
Michaela just sort of blurts out everything, most of everything that she remembers. Oh, it was this angel that calls himself Lucifer that gave it to us while we were studying on how to find um our Sakura's lost childer, and he told us that we had faith, and I told him that I didn't even believe in him, and he was like, you should totally just have faith in yourself. And I said, okay. And then he gave us a coin as a way out of what he calls, what we've been calling hell. And that's how we were able to, that's he I think we've met him like 2 or 3 times after he gave us the coin, but that's pretty much like he just told us that it's a way out of what we've been calling hell.
Madeline, would you go ahead and make a wits and occult roll for me, please?
Oh, hey now. And occult, you said?
Yes, please.
I also did my rouse check and I'm good, by the way.
Excellent.
3, 4, 5, 6 successes.
All right. 6 successes. Being that you are a high priestess of the Bahari, you are very much aware of the stories of Lilith and Lucifer and their garden, which they had together, the children which were born from them. You are also very aware that beings like that are not always necessarily who they claim to be. And it is a double-edged sword to make any kind of bargain with such entity. It can be very beneficial or very detrimental. So that they put their faith in the idea is interesting to you, and that they're willing to gamble on faith.
It's interesting that you decided to bargain with the devil on the account of faith, is it? Do you know the entire story of Lucifer?
Depends which story, because there are a lot of stories about the devil and the serpent.
I'll narrow it down then. Have you heard about his garden and his beautiful Lilith?
I have been reading the book that you gave me. I haven't been able to finish it. It is a lot to consume, but I've read bits.
I may have been high when you told that story to us.
That's
I
also
can't
true.
really remember a lot of it, but I do remember you mentioning it when we were at your party before.
The night he went missing, actually.
Adrian laughs.
But I was definitely high when that happened, so I don't remember much.
Madeline, I see that I'm not the only one fond of the satyr horn, am I?
No. Evidently.
But I didn't know that that's what's going to happen, so I haven't done it in a while. So yeah.
As this conversation is taking place, you see that groups of these other robed attendants have begun sort of gathering around the tree. And Adrian looks off and says, I think that might be our cue, Madeline.
I see. Yes, I think you are correct. So, show you the real story of Lucifer and Lilith. With that, I turn on my heels and I head to my position behind the altar.
Michaela follows where she's supposed to go, but not behind the altar because that would be weird. So she just sort of follows and stands and waits for like where to be placed or something like that.
Clapper follows as well.
I assume that there are two kind of pillows in front of the altar. The altar is relatively low, so two pillows that they can have a seat at.
Indeed.
So I sit there, I guess.
Sakura will just happily plop down on her pillow with her legs crossed.
Adrian moves to stand beside Madeline.
Well, I did invite you here for, as you know, an initiation. But this initiation is a bit different than what most others would be used to. We followers tend to believe in a bit of pain and sacrifice to get to the thing that you adore and love most. Giving up such ideals in order to be a follower of Lilith is something that should not be taken lightly. And so before we take this first step, I will ask you, do you wish to join me on this journey?
Michaela probably still has a little bit of the awe, on her, and she gladly says, "Yes, my prince, I will follow you."
Sakura just sort of reflects for a moment before just saying, I'm not unfamiliar with sacrifice for love, so I will happily join you, my prince.
Excellent. This is not without its challenges. This is going to be very difficult and painful. I hope you are ready for such. With that, I would like to use or invoke Coax the Garden.
Excellent. So make your rouse check for that.
Oh, let's try that again. That's fun. That's a bestial fail.
It's just a rouse check, so it just means you just get hungrier.
Yeah, just hungrier. That's right.
All right. So the hunger stirs within you, Madeline, but this is not an uncommon thing for Bahari to experience, as one of the tenets is to not feed as often as other kindred might, in order to respect the hunger that Lilith went through when she was wandering through the deserts once she was expelled from the Garden of Eden. You can go ahead and make your ritual roll. It's, I believe, intelligence and blood sorcery.
Where did it go? There it is. Jeez. Lots of dice.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 again. 6.
You produce from a pouch that is on the altar a handful of poppy seeds, which are coated with a red tinge of vitae, and you begin spreading them on the ground. Describe to us what takes place.
So as I'm kind of spreading the seeds onto the ground, kind of put my hands out, And to Michaela and Sakura, it doesn't really look like much is happening because you guys are facing the very large and beautiful tree. But what you don't see behind that's going on is the rose bushes and the different flowers start to kind of move and vines start to come across towards you. And they start to kind of snake up your arms and just wrap ever so gently. So it would almost feel like a breeze kind of moving around your wrists. And it's both wrists until you see Madeline clench. And that's when the vines constrict and you can feel the thorns poke right into your skin.
Michaela and Sakura, both of you take 2 points of superficial damage, reduced to half because you are kindred, but Vitae starts to leak out of the puncture wounds which the thorns have inflicted upon you.
If possible, Madeline's gonna snap her fingers and have the other folk who are there in the robes grab the chalices and catch the vitae.
They do indeed. The acolytes in your garden come forward and collect the drops of vitae in the chalices.
Sakura will try to hold Michaela's hand.
Michaela is thinking that this may not be a good idea after all, but she doesn't say anything. She tries to reach out for Sakura as well, but her eyes are focused on Madeline and is just staring, hoping that this might be the end of the pain after all. Maybe not. But she's just staring and like, all right, just taking deep breaths, you know.
Does it hurt?
A little.
I tighten hers.
All right, a lot.
Good. Sakura?
It does.
Just a little?
I have a feeling we're not done yet.
I'm going to tighten hers as well.
Michaela and Sakura, you take 1 more point of superficial damage. This is not reduced because you would have taken 2, so it's just 1 more point of superficial damage as the pain intensifies. You feel that there is now within these vines a slight extra heat and burning.
With that, I'm going to grab a couple of the instruments that are on the altar. They're a couple of like really beautiful, dainty cuffs that have spikes probably like around the middle of it, and put them around my wrists and clench them in. I'm going to start making my wrists bleed, and I'm going to put them over the chalice as well.
The smell of the vitae from Prince Madeline to you, Michaela and Sakura, is exceptionally potent. You feel your beast stir within you in response to it.
Good point to point out that I failed my rouse check for the day.
Excellent.
Oh, I did have a success on my rouse check.
All right. As the vitae is in the chalices, the attendants wait your command.
Just like that, she allows them to give the chalices to the 2 kindred.
Excellent.
We drink it.
Drink up.
Got it.
Adrian nods.
All right, sweet. So she slowly drinks it. Obviously the potentness of the prince's blood just like she just happily drinks it, I guess.
Excellent.
Also, a good time to point out my one of my flaws is bond slave.
This is slightly different,
Okay,
as this is a ritual.
okay. She won't drink as well.
All right. The elixir that seems to pour down your throats does not just contain Vitae. There were other ingredients which seems to have been placed in these chalices before. Once the cups have been taken, Michaela and Sakura, you find yourself losing consciousness for a brief moment. Madeline, you take your own drink. The three of you awaken, open your eyes. You find yourself in what appears to be a snow-covered landscape. Massive trees, as far as the eye can see, but with the barrenness of winter. There's a slight chill in the air. All of you stand up. I would like Michaela and Sakura to make a wits and awareness roll for me, please.
That's 7 successes with 2 crits.
That is 2 successes, and I know better than to put on sense things here on Madeline at this point. So just 2.
Indeed. Standing up amidst this snowy landscape, you look around, and the air seems to be a shade of twilight, but ever so slightly tinged with colors of red on occasion. Faint auroras in the night sky. At that point, Michaela, when inspecting this new landscape, you notice a figure hiding behind one of the trees. May, what do they see?
You see the figure of a very tiny woman, possibly a teenage girl, very small.
I point out um, to both Sakura and Prince Madeline that there seems to be a small child over there where I see um, the teenager girl.
What you going to do about it?
Uh, should we say hello?
Are we still bound, or are those gone?
Those are gone.
Okay, so Michaela is gonna hold her hand out for Sakura, and shall we walk towards the little girl over there?
Not the weirdest thing we've ever done, so why not?
All
Take
right,
our
cool.
hands.
So we hold hands, and um, she also reaches out to to her prince and was like, "Would you like to join us, or is this only a initiation people kind of thing?"
Oh, I'll follow behind, but you go ahead.
So we walk towards the little girl that we see, or teenager.
As you begin to come closer to this young girl, she beckons a little bit. And begins to dart off between the trees.
That that's not weird at all. Um,
Guess we gotta go follow.
all right, well, I guess we're gonna follow. This is how we met Ricky, so maybe this is
It's
a.
also kind of how we met Sora. Really, we tend
We
to
meet a
follow.
lot of kids.
We do, and we always tend to follow them. It's weird.
Well, I mean, I like Ricky and I like Sora, so maybe
New friend.
this, we haven't met any weird kids that have put us in danger. So,
I'd put Ricky under the category for kids that put us in danger, but also people that I love. So,
oh, well, let's just go follow
yeah.
her. So we try
Yeah,
to
go.
as best as we can to follow um the little girl.
Where are you leading them, May?
There seems to be a path that forms where she runs, almost as if the forest itself is parting for her in an almost biblical way. And she runs deeper into the thick of the forest.
So we're gonna categorize this under other weird children. Got it.
Well, I guess it's about time that we met like other weird children. Sounds about right.
It's been like a year since we met Ricky. So yeah, it's about time for another weird kid.
Yeah.
Michaela
Apparently we're
and,
collecting them.
Michaela and Sakura, you can make me a wits and survival roll, please.
I have the heads up. This is blood dice for me, so it went as bad as it could.
I got 3 successes.
I got a
Alright.
bestial fail.
Oh no.
A bestial failure. Michaela, you are following this young girl, and you are fairly certain that you are keeping on her trail. She's moving fairly quickly, but just in such a way as you can keep up with her. But before you are aware, it seems that Sakura is not around you.
Ah, damn it. Oh.
Sakura, with your bestial failure, you find that something is different about this place. Your nature is different. There is a dogged determination about you, but the usual compulsions that would affect you and the circumstance normally is more refined as an absolute pursuit. And you are for sure following this young girl as you follow her to a location. But before you know it, after this rush of hunting energy that you feel inside you, when you finally come to yourself, you realize that you cannot see Michaela anywhere. But both Michaela and Sakura are standing by the same little girl. And she is standing next to a very dark mirror. We'll focus on Michaela first. What appears in the mirror for Michaela? May.
You should see the person you love and trust the most. Who are they, Michaela?
person that I trust the most. It can only be the only one that really truly knows who I am. She sees him just like she saw him many, many, many decades ago. She's seen him very recently in the Shadowlands, but she knew that that person wasn't really him. She's she's not she doesn't believe that this is the same person that she trusts, but it is James, her sire, standing before her in the mirror. The only one that truly knows her secret, who she is, who she's been hiding all this time. That is the only one that she trusts completely. She may trust her friends, her coterie mates, but not the way she trusts James.
As the image of James resolves in the mirror, you see him step out of the mirror, fully resolved, the smile on his face, handsome as you remember it. My Michaela,
Is it really you, James? Is it really you this time?
I think I've always been me. At least with you, I have.
Things are very different, and I haven't seen you, well, at least the real you, in such a long time. This place is also different, and I don't know if you are who you are.
Well, there's one way to find out. He holds his arms up.
Michaela reaches for his hands and grabs it.
You feel him enfold you and embrace. And it feels real, comforting, and full of love. And you feel as you've felt before in his presence. And he says to you, you know, I've never really been ashamed of you, right? I've only ever wanted to keep you safe from others.
I know. And that's why I followed everything you've said. That's why I kept this secret. And I know that you've only left because you wanted to protect me. And I believe you. You've never proven anything. You've never done anything to make me believe otherwise.
Michaela, you hear a voice in your head asking you one question. Are you willing to love?
I've always loved. So the answer to that is yes. I've never not loved.
You find, without knowing it, your hand has shoved forward. In it is a flame, a dagger that seems to be a flame. You find it plunged directly into the heart of your sire. His eyes go wide with shock as the flames begin to consume his body, and he turns into dust.
Michaela is obviously upset. She tries to pull out the dagger. She doesn't know what's going on. She's like, this can't be, this isn't real. This isn't real. I would never. James, I would never have done this. This isn't me. I didn't do this. As he turns into dust.
And we're going to focus on Cassidy for a moment. You find yourself standing in front of the mirror with this young girl. What does she say, May?
Who do you see, Sakura? Who should be the person that you trust and love the most? Look. Look deep.
Sakura will look into the mirror and two people come to mind as people she would trust with her life, but only one that is still alive. And in the frame comes a little boy about 7, except looks nothing like a little boy. His face is flat with no eyes, jet black, elongated, like a baby xenomorph wearing a Pikachu onesie.
And the form of Ricky, your adopted Nosferatu childer, steps out of the mirror and is looking around, confused. Miss Sakura?
Ricky, you're awake?
I was sleeping?
You were. We weren't sure when you were gonna wake up.
How did I wake up?
Don't know, Ricky. How did you get here?
I don't know, Miss Sakura. Where is here? Where are we?
I don't know, but I'm glad you're here with me. And she'll go down on the knee and put her arms out for a hug.
It's really cold, Miss Sakura. I'm really hungry.
I'll find you something. I'm sure there's animals nearby.
Sakura, you hear a voice in your head which says, "Are you willing to sacrifice?"
For what? For who?
For your love.
I'd sacrifice anything for him.
As you say these words to yourself, you witness what you had witnessed before. On Ricky's body, several dozen mouths begin to open while he is holding you, and your vitae begins to seep out and flow into these mouths, and he has an iron grip on you.
Like before, she'll just hug him tighter, rub his head, and say, "It's okay. It's okay, Ricky."
You feel your hunger increasing as your vitae is draining away. You are currently at hunger 3, and the vitae continues to pour out of you.
She'll just squeeze him tighter. And just, "It's okay, Ricky. I'm here. Here."
You find that your hunger has increased to hunger 4. You know that very shortly you will have nothing left to give.
She will close her eyes and hold on tightly as she can to Ricky while just rubbing his back and just whispering to him, just, "It'll be okay. I love you."
You begin to feel the animating spark of consciousness inside you waver and drift off and disappear. Michaela and Sakura and Madeline, as you have been watching each of these initiates go through their trials from a distance, you find yourself now in deep, tall, dark woods. Sakura, you were not here for a moment. You gasp as the exquisite pain of your final death through diablerie washes through you. Michaela, you are still on your knees looking for this pile of ashes. You're both next to each other.
Sakura will turn to Michaela and just, did you see where Ricky went? Did you see where he went?
Michaela's crying, as she realizes that maybe now that there's a different, she's in a different location. She's crying and she says, "Not again. Not like you can't keep appearing and not being real and leaving me again and again and again and again." And that's basically like what she's saying. She's just crying and, you know, you can't keep doing this again and again into the air.
Madeline's going to approach Michaela and get down on her knees next to her, and I'm going to whisper in her ear, "You're stronger than this. It doesn't matter how many times something appears and goes away. You don't need it. Stand up."
Michaela takes a deep breath, remembers that this isn't the first time he's left. And so she stands up. Taking a deep breath, she stands up and she looks at her prince and she says, "You're right, Prince Madeline. I am better than this."
I'm going to go to Sakura to make sure they're okay as well.
Sakura is looking around frantically, looking for someone.
Whatever it is you're looking for, you know that it's inside you. You need no external person to tell you that you're stronger than this. Just stand up and keep moving.
I know I'm strong. I'm strong for him.
No, you're strong for yourself.
I already knew that. He needs me more than I do.
Oh, sweetheart, you have so much to learn.
She will stand up.
You find that there is a pathway leading forward and backward. The pathway forward, you see that eventually, even from your vantage point, there is a split in the road, 2 forks. I need both of you to make a perception and awareness roll for me, please.
I'm still at 400.
Sorry, wits and awareness. You are not at 4 hunger. You are back at your 2 hunger.
Okay. Would have gone very differently.
It's 4 successes for me.
It's 2 successes for me.
Michaela, after wiping the tears, the bloodstained tears from your eyes, you do notice, off in the distance, on the right fork, it looks as if there is some kind of light coming towards you. It seems to be swinging a little bit. And as it comes closer, you can see that there is another figure standing on that fork in the road with a lantern. What do they see, May?
You see an old woman who, at first, you almost think is the little girl that dressed in the same clothes, but the stature is different from far away. She seems a little bit more hunched, more worn, and the vibrant tendrils of hair that were coming out from underneath the cloak of the young girl seemed to be more gray and worn in color from the years.
Sakura, I think our little girl has become a little bit older now. And she's right over there with a lantern. I think we're meant to follow her again.
Soccer's still a little shaken, but takes Michaela's hand and lets her lead.
That's what I do. I follow. I try to walk up to the 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 old lady with the lantern. Uh, Inside she's thinking, this can possibly get worse, but it might just because I thought of that. So let's just get this out of the way, and just takes a step.
The older woman does not run or hide, or she simply waits for you to catch up. And when you are within range, she greets you.
Hello, young ones. I see. Very nice. It's been a while since we've had someone down this way. Announce yourselves.
Is Michaela, and I am a visitor of your land, I guess.
No, not just my land. I mean, this particular patch of it is, as I stand here, I suppose. They do say possession is 9/10 of the law, is it not?
Yes.
Mm. And this one, your name?
Sakura Ami, a pleasure to meet you.
Now, you don't know that just yet, but I do appreciate the faith. Well, I suppose I should show you around, seeing as how you do not appear to be from here. Perhaps you are hungry?
Um, I'm not hungry at the moment, but I believe my friend here may be feeling some pangs of hunger.
I'm, I don't think any of us are ever not hungry, to be accurate.
Hmm. Well, perhaps. And the old woman starts to take an apple out of her bag. Perhaps something may change your mind here in the future. And the old woman does walk over to a tree, and she places the apple into the roots of the tree and activates a very special ability. And I believe you know which one it is.
Indeed. The apple and this tree seem to be drawing to themselves some kind of interesting resonance. You can't quite see it as everything seems to be coming through the ground, but you can smell it. And the apple itself begins to fill until it is a plump, juicy red.
Now, the choice is yours, dear. Would you care to take a bite?
Historically, eating apples doesn't end well for people, but I mean, sure, why not? And just take the apple, and before she takes a bite, just it's about faith, isn't it? Just take a bite.
Oh, I am sorry, dear. Wow. You feel as though this may slake your hunger. I am afraid it was, in fact, the wrong answer. And you do feel yourself get one more point hungrier, Sakura. And I'm afraid that is not the only downfall to this situation. There will be other consequences you will have to face, my child. But all in the learning, I suppose, is it not? Right? Our fear makes us stronger. Our weaknesses make us stronger. You must learn how to use them. Child. But I'm afraid I cannot help you any further with the next challenge you face.
Fear and consequence are something I'm well aware of lately, so why not?
Take the path you least expect, and maybe your luck will change.
Michaela just grabs Sakura's hand and just holds her hand tightly. Are you okay?
That's relative. I don't think I'm doing too well on this test.
It's okay. I'm here. We can do this together. We will do this together.
If I fail, don't be afraid to pass.
We will do this together.
So, as you see the older woman sort of disappear from view for a while, rumbling through the forest, you hear some trees crashing down. And Madeline, you step to the side to watch. As out of the forest, there seems to be this creature, this being, which seems to be composed out of different limbs, different arms, different faces, different legs, but you see that it is at least 9 feet tall. But each of the faces that are on the creature you recognize, twisted but misshapen, perhaps in a great deal of pain. But you see the face of Sora, Kenny, Elijah, Nikolai, Quinn, and even Ricky as this beast comes lumbering towards you. And the voices of your coterie mates cry out in different, odd, distorted union. Help us, please. Kill us. We need your help, please. End it. And it takes a big swipe towards you. Both of you can make a Dex and Athletics roll for me, please.
Sakura is just gonna like shout out like, why is this not the least surprising thing today?
It's a 1 success with a critical.
One success. Well, if you got a crit, it should
Sorry,
be more than one
it's
success.
2. I don't know.
Okay, so that's 4 successes.
I don't roll very well.
So
You
there
said
are 2
It's-
zeros, right?
So it's I'm using a dice roller and it
Okay.
says 1 success. So I'm just gonna
One
go with
success.
that.
Okay.
Dex and what else?
Athletics.
I don't have athletics and I only have 2 decks, so
That is 3.
All right. So Michaela, you take you take the swipe to the body as you find yourself flung back and sort of slam into the tree, taking another 2 points of superficial damage, sort of reduced to half there because you are kindred. Sakura, you managed to sort of jump out of the way as it goes, but this creature is intent on continuing. But you hear still the voices of your coterie. Please make it stop. End us now, please.
Do we do here, Michaela?
I mean, I've always wanted to hurt Kenny a little bit. Maybe we should just aim for his face.
Maybe
I
not.
don't-
Path least expected isn't murder. That's kind of expected for us.
I mean, we gotta end it. I think that's what they want, and if we don't, he'll end us. It'll end us. Let's go grab a tree or something and poke it with the tree. I don't know.
I don't know if poke it with a tree is a good answer here.
I mean, we should just basically
Just-
harm it.
Just about to take another swipe at you.
We I try to is there a tree around us that I could basically try and I don't know, use my strength on?
There are some trees around you, yes, but you find on your hip is still the same dagger that you used not moments
Very
earlier.
nice.
I'm gonna look at in one of its many eyes and use compel
Okay.
and just say the word stop.
All right, go ahead. And
That is charisma and dominate versus intelligence and resolve.
all right, go ahead and roll it.
I used a willpower and 3 success.
3 successes. You see that the figure stops very briefly for a second, but then continues to push through. However, in that second that it has briefly stopped,
Y-
Michaela.
I'm going to go ahead and use the dagger and try to aim for
Okay.
one of the hearts. I mean, what her guess would be the heart of would be, and just
All
like
right. So
I'm going to try to throw it really hard.
All right.
Just like I don't want to be grabbed. So
Dexterity and melee, please.
sweet. Things that I do not have, but all right.
You can always rouse the blood if you want
That
to
is
increase your
true.
dexterity.
I am going to do that.
Okay.
And that is 3 successes. The highest I can roll.
3 successes. It had stopped for a brief second, and your aim is true as the dagger plunges into the abomination in front of you, and you see that it sprouts these flames which seemed to erupt from it before. And as the flames seem to consume this beast in its wild thrashes, it disappears into ash, but not before each of the faces say, "Thank you, thank you."
I think that's the first time Kenny ever thanked me for anything.
I mean, same, actually. Any of them, actually.
You find that in the fork in the road, the left fork seems to be brighter.
Didn't that old lady tell you to take the one that's least expected?
Yeah, but also reverse psychology is the thing, and I am super overthinking this now. So I'm gonna let you take this one.
Man, I don't want to keep deciding where to lead.
I'm not doing super great here, so I'm gonna let you take it.
The light is drawing me, but you're also creatures of the night, so the darker one might be more fun. All right, I'm gonna go with the dark one, just because the light seems like it's inviting. I think, and therefore, based on what she told you, least expected means the other one. And she looks at the prince and just like tries to see if there's like clues in her face, at all, anything, maybe.
So I'm gonna use my telepathy and actually try to connect with Sakura real quick.
All right.
I'm just gonna deliver one line. You trust her to choose your path?
Sakura will look at Michaela and just, we do this together. I trust you.
All right, cool. I hope I don't make a bad decision. And just
Hey,
like
I'm winning on the bad decision front here. I'm not gonna vote. I'm not gonna vote you. You make one.
so she grabs her hand and just like we walk together towards the dark path.
You continue down this pathway, and the trees begin to change and shift and morph, and it becomes incredibly dark for a while. You see that the trees start to sort of resemble the shapes of bodies, but they're still trees. But the shapes are this bone white and these blood red leaves. And it gets incredibly dark for a while. But suddenly, there's a central clearing in which you see a large column of light, bright daylight. And in the middle, there appears to be what looks from this distance like an odd scarecrow.
Do you wanna go closer?
Maybe we should go find the wizard.
Eh, Maybe he needs a brain. Uh, let's go.
Why not?
And
I don't think either of us have a brain today. I don't know if I'm gonna be much help.
uh, it's okay. This, if we, let's just go, and we walk together, and approach it, but I very carefully approach it, but still slowly approaching it. Yeah.
Sucker do the same.
Stepping into this threshold of this circle of light, you feel that your skin begins to burn. Do you continue forward?
Yeah.
All
Walking
right.
into pain seems to be my MO today, so why not?
It is what you imagine the pain of true sunlight would feel upon your vampiric skin. It is intense. Each of you take 1 point of aggravated damage as you walk into the circle. And as you get close to the scarecrow, it begins to morph and change. May, would you describe what they're seeing, please?
You see, at first, the scarecrow starts to grow. The stick that is holding it up begins to turn into twisted vines like the trunk of a tree. And it does become a tree, all the way from the bottom to the top. And as the branches reach out, they form what looks to be large arms and eventually a face. And the leaves form the hair that come down in this beautiful red color that look much like the tree that is behind Madeline's ritual area that you have seen. It looks at you. Hello. Young one, you have journeyed far. Have you learned anything?
I learned that we are strong, stronger together, stronger apart. All I know is that we are strong.
Yeah, strong indeed. But you shy from fear. You are indecisive at times. Indecisiveness can come from fear. Fear of pain, of loss. You must learn to embrace these things for true strength. Go with your inner fear.
One thing that I've learned through all of this is that even though I'm afraid, even though I am nervous, even though I am indecisive, I always move forward. And I think that is where true strength lies because you cannot stop being afraid. You cannot stop being indecisive. You cannot stop being nervous. It is how you respond to it that makes you strong. And I may be afraid, but I'm here.
How about you, young Suko?
I've learned I have a lot to learn, but I'm trying. That's all you can do.
Your child. Many might see as an abomination, but I would like you to know. I think he's
Abomination to classify any one of us. He is wonderful.
I think that you all have done well to honor the darkness here today. Do make sure to keep practicing. No, I will be in your corner. Look for me. You will find what you see. If I may, give you some parting words of wisdom. Beware the morning star. He is the father of life. That is
And with that, the vision shifts and changes, and you will find yourself opening your eyes within the gardens at Longview.
As I come to, I say aloud, I didn't even get her name.
Oh, you know her name.
Do I know her name?
You do. Why don't you two rise, my beautiful kindred? You are now reborn as Lilith.
And that is a beautiful place to end this prologue. Thank you all so much for joining us. As Michaela and Sakura may each take one dot in the Bahari lore sheet. Good night, and see you next time.
Bye.